welcome again at the Stokvel Academy, and the journey continues. We are forever learning, discussing different aspects about this powerful Stokvel movement. So, that being said, today my guest is Refilwe. Refilwe, she's a digital media specialist, and I thought these educated people don't actually care for Stokvels, especially when they're young. But anyway, Refilwe is here. Hi, Refilwe.
Hi, Ma, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and thank you very much, and thanks for agreeing to be part of this conversation. Just tell me a bit about you and Stokvels.
Okay, personally, I've been part of several Stokvels, from Saving Stokvels to Grocery Stokvels, to social Stokvels, So personally, I've grown as an individual from the very first Stokvel that I was part of to the Stokvel that I'm part of now. I think that's my journey right there.
But where did this journey start? Savings and grocery, these things, and how do you fit in?
Okay, so personally, when it comes to financial education, I'm really not that clued up, I can say. So for me, saving money by myself was difficult. So I wanted to buy something, and then I realized that every month I keep on saying I'll save 500, I'll save, but I end up using the money that I said I will save. So then that's when I decided, you know what, let me rather join my friends, and then we each contribute 1,000 rand, and then at least that because of the fact that I know that every month I need to save this 1,000 rand, it sort of taught me discipline. So I know that, okay, I'm committed to this thing, and I'm not a person to give up on something that I've committed to. And so it sort of taught me discipline. So I knew that every month, whatever happens, I need to give my friend 1,000 rand because it's her turn. So I don't want to seem as if I'm owing her money.
But where does your mom come into this equation? Was she there behind saying, Refilwe, have you been at your Stokvel, or what happened?
No. With my first one, she didn't know about it, but obviously I knew about Stokvels from her. Growing up, she had Stokvels with her friends. On the 15th, you have to take money to Mang because my mom has to contribute towards the Stokvel. So growing up, I grew up knowing that, okay, my mom is part of the Stokvel, she's doing this with her friends, and I saw that it was helping her, because at some point it wasn't really a Stokvel, but for me I feel like it was a Stokvel, because she would give her friend money on the 15th, and then the friend will give her money on the 30th. So it sort of helped her in terms of saving money, because obviously on the 30th she knows that she'll have 300 rand saved with her friend. I don't know. Okay. So I grew up with that, surrounded by that. So I knew that if I commit myself to this, giving my friend 1,000 rand every month, when it's my turn, when they give me that lump sum, that 5,000, I can actually take it and go buy what I wanted to go buy.
So, would I be correct to say your mother's Stokvel, the 15 and the 30th, it did plant a seed?
A seed in
Stokvel.
Yes.
Yeah, you just didn't pick it up from
there.
Yeah, having learned whatever you learned from your mom and her friend Stokvel, is there anything that sort of made you feel, you know what, but I think I don't need this pain in my life, the Stokvel issues,
Okay, I think the negative was being part of a Stokvel with someone who didn't have the same commitment as we did. So every month, we all got paid on the very same day. So we expected contributions on the day that you got paid. But with him, he would give us stories and so that's when I learned that when we commit to saving together, there needs to be a how do I say, a penalty for not paying on the day that we had agreed on. So and also the right people. You need to choose the right people.
How do you do that?
I guess we need to decide. I guess you need to sit down with people and ask them, okay, why are you part of the Stokvel? If you don't really have a reason why you want to be part of this saving Stokvel, I don't think it will have the same.
It should not just be a question of Refilwe, a friend, you met a friend,
we meet every month,
yes.
You need to have...
there must be substance.
Substance, yes. Yeah. Okay. And a goal, we are working towards a certain goal. So you also need to have that goal.
In this day of digital media, social media and all that stuff, I see a lot of Stokvels on my Facebook. Hey, I've just made money, and 200 rands more, 500 rands, and these things are flying all over, and it's Stokvel money, please, come, And now Facebook, there's nothing as impersonal as Facebook in my view. We don't know these people, but So what's your take on that, on these Stokvels that are flying over on this Facebook platform?
My take is, if it's too good to be true, then it's probably not true. I don't know if So if a person would say make 1,000 rand in an hour, how are you gonna make that 1,000 rand? Do you know? So it's, for me, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably not true. So you need to really do your research and investigate and find out why, how, ask those questions.
And who are you? Because the reason why I'm raising this point, you just said, your beta experience was about this guy who didn't seem to be very really committed. So if now we're going to hook up on a Facebook and then we start forming a Stokvel, in my view, it actually takes away that the essence of a Stokvel of knowing, one another, trusting each other, and being committed, And again, I also want to say, yes, we have to move on. We're living in the digital world, and I think there's a bit of a challenge there. How do we balance Mhlobo Mdala, Stokvel, and the fourth industrial revolution dynamics? How do we balance the two?
I think we can, instead of doing it, we can still maintain the old traditional form of Stokvel, but instead of meeting regularly, instead of counting money, physically counting money, let's use banks. Let's transfer money. Let's rather transfer money instead of meeting at someone's house, then counting money together, and then
But before we get to an important point here, Stokvel, you need people who are committed, people who share the same vision and all that stuff, and all those things need almost like a face-to-face interaction. You know this person, you've met, you meet on a continuous basis and all that stuff. But we live in a digital world now, social media and all that stuff. How do you think Stokvels will be able to function the way the traditional Stokvels have functioned in terms of commitment and sharing the same vision without actually meeting, Yes, just starting a Stokvel online, for example. So what are your views about social media impact on Stokvels?
I think it's something that we need to work on. It's something that needs a lot of work, because like we've mentioned before, there have been these other Stokvels, the fly-by-night and whatnot, that pop up on WhatsApp that are not really legit. So digitalizing Stokvel and moving from the whole traditional meeting, finding people for misbehaving or not contributing on the set day, digitalizing that model, I think it will take time. It needs a lot of research, and it's not something that can be done overnight, because not a lot of people, especially the older generation, they don't really trust social media. They don't trust digital. So I think it's something that it's an ongoing effort that we need to push as young people who are part of the Stokvel movement, I can say.
Okay. Just back to your mom, Stokvel. What kind of digital activity is taking place in that Stokvel? Because you are still part of it.
Yes.
And yeah, Baba Holu, they still do things in a traditional way, but the fact of the matter is you are part of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the digital is the communication. So communication is done by WhatsApp. So would have a meeting month end and discuss
COVID-19 meeting month end.
So,
how are you going to meet?
So since COVID-19 we haven't been meeting, obviously, but we've been communicating via WhatsApp. And we've been getting statements and feedback. And
how do you get the statement?
Via WhatsApp. So we do have an accountant. The person who's heading the Stokvel is a qualified accountant. So you contribute money monthly, and then you deposit the money, and then after that there's a statement that is drawn up to say who contributed how much every month, and then the money is divided.
Do you think it will be still necessary to meet as you've been meeting? Everyone says the life is not going to be the same after lockdown, stage 1 or whatever. What are your views about the impact of this going forward?
Okay, I think the meeting part, as much as the communication is open and it's clear on WhatsApp, you can ask questions if you don't understand. But I think the meeting part, we will have to meet just to accommodate, in my view, to accommodate the older generation. Because even my mother, even though she gets the statements, she gets the spreadsheets and everything, she still has questions. She still wants someone to clarify why is this amount this much instead of this amount, even though I contributed over 3 months, So she still needs that face-to-face engagement. So for me, I think the meeting part, for the older generation, so that we can also as young people help them transition from the whole traditional way of doing Stokvels to the digital way of doing it.
Leadership within Stokvels, having met thousands and thousands of Stokvels in South Africa. Each and every Stokvel, renally executive.
Yes.
What's executive? Is the chairperson, secretary, and the treasurer. I said, oh, okay, that's the leadership in a Stokvel. What are your views in terms of these three people giving direction? Or it's just a question of a title, or start dealing this Stokvel, and therefore I'm a chairperson. I'm the one who've got a nice handwriting, and therefore I'm the secretary. So what are your views?
So my view in terms of leadership more within Stokvels, I think the leadership should be, for me, I think it depends on the Stokvel. Is it only young people, or is it a mixture of young and old? So in my opinion, if it's a mixture of young and old, the executive cannot only be older people, because we feel we need to respect them. So I think the executive needs to be a mixture representing both generations, if it's a matter of young and old.
Is that happening in your Stokvel and your mom? How's the leadership?
I would say to some extent, but right now the leadership is mostly young people, the younger generation.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
because it was started by a younger person, a qualified. So I think because he's a qualified accountant, the older generation then trusts him more.
Okay.
To say he'll be able to manage the money and flow and everything.
So your profile as a leader is also important.
Yes, it's also important, because we need to know how are you going to contribute towards growing the Stokvel.
Great.
Yeah. So it can't be just someone because that person had an idea of starting a Stokvel, but
education in stokvels. I think all the stokvels that exist in South Africa, there's probably about 800,000, if not a million, stokvel groups. And I think they've done fairly well. They've been around for years. You know, so much has been achieved. Do we really have to bother about education in stokvels, training, development? Or we can just say, you know what, this movement is great. Let's just save money and get on with our lives. What is your view?
I think education is very important because, like we had mentioned before, we're living in a digital era and we need to start digitalizing stokvels. So that is one way of looking at it. You can educate them in terms of how you can digitalize the whole movement. You can also educate them how to effectively invest your money, how to effectively grow money, the stokvel, instead of just having one avenue of how you working around your stokvel. So I think education is very important. Financial education is very important. Business opportunity education is very important, because as a stokvel you can grow and actually start something instead of just being a saving stokvel and getting money at the end of the month and sharing the profits.
In conclusion, if you were to make a plea to business South Africa, where the bulk of this money is sitting, the 45 billion to 50 billion that is circulating within stokvels, it's sitting somewhere in the vaults of our banks. It's sitting somewhere the retail stores, and of course you spend money, you save money to spend. There's nothing wrong with that. What would be your plea to Business Africa in terms of supporting the growth and development of stokvels?
I think businesses need to start considering and looking at the contributions that stokvels are making to the economy. So I think it's high time different corporates, different businesses take stokvels seriously. I don't want to say take them seriously, but acknowledge the contributions that stokvels are making to the economy of South Africa and growing in Africa as a whole. So I think my plea is to businesses: have a division. If a division is too much, but have a division that is focused on developing stokvels and growing stokvels, because the reality is stokvels are making a major contribution towards the economy, and most of stokvel members are just stokvel members, and they don't know the contribution that they have and how they are growing and how they're impacting the economy of South Africa.
They probably don't really know their value.
Their value, yes, as a stokvel. So I think corporate companies need to take stokvels seriously. I can just simply put it.
Okay. Thank you, Refilwe, for sharing with us your journey as a stokvel member and what you've learned from your mom and her fellow stokvel members. And what you've just said now actually affirms our philosophy here at the Stokvel Academy, which is about wealth and wisdom. So we need to aspire to learn so that we can grow and create more wealth for ourselves as stokvels. And thank you very much.
Thank you.